I'm Ben Hooper, and this is Weekend Odds and Ends, a special Friday edition of the UPI Odd News Minute for September 19th, 2025. The Annals of Improbable Science announced this year's slate of Ig Nobel Prize winners, including researchers who painted cows like zebras and a team who analyzed the pizza preferences of lizards. The 35th first annual Ig Nobel Prize ceremony was held Thursday evening in Boston and featured real Nobel laureates handing out awards for scientific research that makes people laugh, then think. The prizes are intended to celebrate the unusual, honor the imaginative, and spur people's interest in science, medicine, and technology. This year's Literature Prize was awarded posthumously to William Bean for persistently recording and analyzing the rate of growth of one of his fingernails over a period of 35 years. The Psychology Prize went to a pair of researchers who analyzed how receiving high IQ scores relates to temporary state narcissism. This year's Nutrition Prize was awarded to a team who determined rainbow lizards at a seaside resort in Togo prefer 4 cheese to other varieties of pizza. The Pediatrics Prize was awarded for a study looking into what a nursing infant experiences when their mother eats garlic. A Japanese team was awarded the Biology Prize for experiments determining that cows painted with zebra-like stripes were 50% less likely to be bitten by flies. The Chemistry Prize was awarded for experiments that analyzed whether eating Teflon, a plastic scientifically known as polytetrafluoroethylene, would be an effective way to increase food volume without extra calories. The Ig Nobel Peace Prize was presented to a team whose study found that drinking alcohol sometimes improves a person's ability to speak in a foreign language. A group of Indian researchers received the Engineering Design Prize for analyzing, from an engineering design perspective, how foul-smelling shoes affect the good experience of using a shoe rack. The Aviation Prize went to a study into how alcohol ingestion affects the ability of bats to fly and echolocate. The Ig Nobel Prize for Physics was given to a group of researchers analyzing the properties of pasta sauce, especially the phase transition that can lead to clumping, which can be a cause of unpleasantness. The theme of this year's ceremony was digestion, and featured guests including Tricia Paschiera, who studied the link between using a smartphone on the toilet and developing hemorrhoids. It also featured the performance of a mini opera titled The Plight of the Gastroenterologist. Meanwhile, in other extremely important science news, researchers at the University of California, Berkeley found chimpanzees eating fermented fruit in their native habitats consume the equivalent of nearly 2 alcoholic drinks per day. The research team, who published their findings Wednesday in the journal Science Advances, analyzed 21 species of fruit regularly eaten by chimps in Uganda and the Ivory Coast to measure the alcohol content. Alexi Mero, a graduate student at the university's Department of Integrative Biology, said chimpanzees were found to be consuming half an ounce of pure ethanol per day, the equivalent of 1 standard American drink, and the amount increased to the equivalent of nearly 2 drinks per day when adjusted for body mass. Each chimp eats about 10 pounds of fruit every day, making up about 75% of their diet. The Berkeley researchers approximated the proportions of each fruit in an average chimp's diet to reach their conclusions. The team said it is not yet clear whether chimpanzees are actively seeking out fruit with higher ethanol levels, but if that is the case, it is likely their alcohol consumption is even higher than expected. Robert Dudley, UC Berkeley professor of integrative biology, authored a book called The Drunken Monkey: Why We Drink and Abuse Alcohol in 2014. His so-called drunken monkey hypothesis posits that the common ancestors to humans and apes likely ate similar alcohol-rich diets. Morrow said his research seems to support this hypothesis, explaining, "Chimpanzees consume a similar amount of alcohol to what we might if we ate fermented fruit daily. Human attraction to alcohol probably arose from this dietary heritage of our common ancestor with chimpanzees." For these stories and more national, international, sports, entertainment, science, and odd news from United Press International, visit UPI.com. Follow the UPI Odd News Minute on YouTube and TikTok. What under-researched area of science would you like to see receive a future Ig Nobel Prize? Let us know in the comments.